bitches! Welcome to episode 182 of C3 Crystals, Cauldrons, and Cocktails. Today we have a guest co-host appearing. I am so excited. This is Jessica. Oh, can I say your last name?
Yes.
Jessica Clingman. Some people are still in the broom closet, so to speak, so I wasn't sure. You may know her because I always talk about our quote oldest patron. This is her, so I'm so excited to have her on board. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I am so excited. So, what I decided that I thought would be fun because I don't have enough witches in my life, I want to hear what other witches do. So, I thought I would ask a bunch of questions. We could talk about it and I could give my 2 cents as well. So, oh, are you drinking anything today?
I do. I do have something. This is one of my favorite things to drink. I love like Moscow mules and things like this, but this is one that I made up. It's I call it a blackberry mule. It has
Ooh.
blackberry Crown Royal, ginger beer. I usually do a splash of or like a squeeze of lime. I
Mm.
put frozen blackberries with the ice.
Yum. That's
and then
amazing.
and then sometimes I put a little dash of cinnamon sugar in it just because I like my stuff sweet.
Okay.
So yeah, so I'm very much into like mostly it has to be sweet. It cannot be dry or too I don't know what else to call it, but yeah.
You're
But
like
yeah,
Ren. Ren
yeah,
loves her
I'm like
stuff
Ren.
sweet.
Yeah, I'm just like Ren when it
Yeah.
comes to that. So yeah,
I'm
so
on
yeah,
the opposite end.
I've served it to people. People love it. Yeah, I just happened one day to see the Crown Royal blackberry in the store, and I love blackberries. And I was like, oh, let me try this, and just started kind of concocting things up and saw this. So yeah.
Very cool. I'm cheating today. I'm just drinking my sparkling wine, but I've got it in a really cool
Oh yeah.
goblet, I guess you would call it. But that's so I'm cheating. No fun ones today for me.
Well, I don't drink very often anyway, but that's okay because it was like, a good little thing to maybe it'll make me not talk so fast.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Well, what first drew you to witchcraft?
I think I've always been a lover of the supernatural ever since I was a young girl. I do think that I did see things when I was young. But then I remember being teased a lot, and I think it kind of went away from that. So it's always been there, and I've always been a big reader. So I've always loved the vampire stories and the
Hmm.
witchy stories and the different kind of werewolves and things like that. Ever since I remember being in elementary school, reading any book that had anything to do with something supernatural.
Yeah, absolutely. That is amazing. I think it's so sad as children. I think children are able to see things and
Oh, I did
feel
too.
things that adults don't, and that gets driven out of us. And I think that's so sad.
And like
So,
it got driven out of me, not from adults. It was actually from other kids.
really?
Yes.
Oh,
I remember,
interesting.
yeah, I was at a sleepover and I said something and they were teasing me so bad that I literally just closed my eyes after that.
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking I just didn't want to see anything like that anymore. And I don't think I've seen things now that I'm older and I'm allowing it to happen, but
Hmm.
back then I didn't see anything for a very long time.
Yeah,
So,
you put up that strong wall to
oh
keep from
yes.
seeing it. Ren's very good at that too. She has a really strong wall, and I'm more of one of those people that I'm like, "Oh, bring it on. I want to know that." And I have an issue with bullies, and so I was always one of those people that would do the opposite. Don't tell me what I can't do. And so I was
Yeah, I understand that.
always,
Yeah.
yeah, I got myself in lots of trouble that way. But when did you actually start practicing?
So the crazy thing is, I think off and on all my life, I've kind of bit into it. Like I really remember being in high school back in the 90s, and I was really kind of into it. I actually ended up going to a Christian college. So I really changed the way of thinking and everything to that way. And it's just been off and on. And about 4 years ago, I was at a bookstore and I was just looking through the different sections in the bookstore and I came across a book and I was just like, maybe this is the right place for me. I had,
Okay.
had gone through a divorce and by this point in time I was married to my current husband. Um, and my current husband's very much loves that I go out of my comfort zone and look at things and he knows I love to learn. So I just started really getting into it. But I realized a lot of the stuff that is witchcraft I've been doing for years.
Yeah.
I've
You just
always
didn't know.
had, yeah,
Yeah.
right. I've always had like talisman and things like that. I've always had special jewelry, special clothes, all those different things. And I think, I used to make all these wishes all the time. And when they would actually come true, I was just like, oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. So yeah, so
Manifestation, baby.
right, manifestation. So it's been about 4 years since I've let myself be identified as a witch.
Okay,
But
interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I didn't know it was witchcraft. I never had a word for it, but
mm,
I had altars from the time I was little. I remember I had a bedroom window
oh,
that
I did
actually
too.
looked out and that you could see the full moon, and I had an altar there. And my dad made fun of me, which is really funny because I think he was a witch too, and I don't think he knows. I think that's where I get it from, is from my
Right.
dad.
I
But
think, yeah, I
yeah,
understand.
yeah. So very funny. So if you could go back to your baby witch self, what piece of advice would you give yourself? And would you listen?
Um, I don't think I would listen, but the thing I would say would be that spells and everything that you do does not have to be perfect.
Hmm.
I think at the beginning of it, I was reading so much about, oh, you got to do the spell this way, you've got to do this way. And I just was overwhelmed. And then finally I realized I think I did something a little off the cuff and did it my way and it worked. So I was
Yes.
like, okay, never mind. I've always been weird. So my
Hmm.
witchcraft has to be weird too. It has to not
Hmm.
follow all the rules and everything else. So that's where, and but I don't think I would listen to myself because I'm in a totally different place than I was 4 years ago.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now I told myself that now I'm probably like, oh, okay, yeah, I know I'm weird. I'm okay. I'm embracing the weirdness and everything that goes with it. So
I
that kind of helps.
probably would not have listened to myself. I didn't listen to anybody who tried to tell me anything. So my older self trying to come and tell my younger self something, I'd be like, you don't know what you're talking about. So I unfortunately am not that way. How would you describe your practice? Are you like a kitchen witch, a hedge witch, a little chaos goblin? What's your what's
I
your
think
jam?
I'm pretty much very eclectic. I dabble in a lot of stuff. Um, I do have some. I think I definitely do have a little bit of kitchen witchery in me. I'm big into numerology, so it's a lot of. I always call myself like the number magic witch. It's kind of like a little nickname that I have for myself. Uh, but yeah, I mean, I love like things like that. Like I've tried, I still kind of going through different things, with divination tools and things like that. So yeah, I think I'm just like all over the place. My husband called when I was telling him about this, he called me the chaos gremlin. He's like, "Yeah, you're a chaos gremlin." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm all over the place with things," because he laughs, because he's just like, why is this?" Oh, never mind, I'm not asking, and he just walks away. Um, so yeah, and it's good. So yeah, it's just a bunch of different little things I think, and I like being like that. I don't think I like being labeled as one certain thing. I like the idea of being labeled, being kind of just whatever I feel like in that day and time.
Yeah, that would be me too. I would have a really hard time probably following a coven hierarchy, that kind of
Oh yeah.
thing. Yeah, I really am a don't tell me what to do type person. So I'm all over the place too. I think that's fun. And honestly, I think eclectic witches are the coolest just because we aren't bound into one particular lane, so to
Right.
speak. Yeah. So let's see. What is a typical day for you in your witchy life? I mean, we both have jobs outside in the real world, but
Well,
what do you, yeah.
yeah, I'm a high school teacher in the real world. Mom of three boys, mom of a stepmom to two girls, and grandma. Actually, I'm a mom also. I have two grandchildren.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I have my husband and my friends and my, all the other stuff in my life. But usually on the weekdays when I'm going to school, a lot of it is protection magic and spells. Like I think you did the travel thing a few weeks ago, and I'm like,
Yeah.
or it might have been this past week, and that's a big thing for me on my way to work because I have about almost an hour drive to work. So it's a lot of protection. And then just being in the classroom, I do have like a little bell to kind of cleanse the room. I do have a couple things set up around that nobody really knows about. And then also I try to do some meditation during like my planning or my lunch period sometimes. It's not as great this year. The years past, I've had first period planning, so I used to do it first thing in the morning
Hmm.
when I got in, and now it's a little more sporadic. But I'm still feeling like we're still getting into the school year. So
Yeah,
even though we're already, we're a little almost at the end of the first quarter, but still,
I
it's
know
just like
that's
okay.
crazy,
But
crazy.
yeah, so I mean
Yeah,
that's my big thing. I love it. I love the protection, like the protection magic, and just kind of just making sure I'm grounded at school because
for
that does
sure.
help. It
Yeah.
does help so much.
I can't imagine the chaos that your aura brings home every day after being with students all day long.
And you know what? I think I used to have a job where a teaching job that was only like 10 minutes away from home, and I'd bring so much back of that with me. And I
Hmm.
think that's the good thing about living farther away is I am able to decompress and kind of shake that stuff off. Plus, I go over this big bridge, and sometimes I just think, I'm going over the bridge and everything's I'm leaving it in the other
Leaving it
county,
all behind.
yeah,
Yep,
behind
yep,
me and everything else. And I think that's, part of it right there. So like by the time I get home, I'm like, oh, I'm okay. Let's get some stuff done. Let's, have time to spend with my dogs and stuff like that. So
yeah. I thought about you 100% when I was doing the travel one because I knew you had a commute. So because I
yes.
know that's when you listen to me. So
Oh yes, yes.
yeah, I thought about you and was like, what can I offer to help with the travel for her that has to commute every day?
Oh, and then
Interesting.
I have a bunch of things in my car. Like I have little things hanging off my rearview mirror. I have little stuffed animals that I've kind of, keep in my car that have names and everything with it.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm
Absolutely.
quirky.
So
I'm very quirky.
do you have a go-to spell or ritual that's never let you down? One that you always use?
I don't really, but I think since most of my spells deal with, I think mostly I deal with protection, just
Hmm.
protection of my surroundings, of friends. I have sent spells out. I've had actually a cousin of mine that contacted me because she was having problems with somebody. She's like, "What can I do?" And I kind of helped her work through something to do on her own, but I was kind of helping there with her and telling her what to do for protection. Um, and things like that. So like protection spells are like my biggest thing. Like I just feel like I do that constantly. Whether, because I have my stepdaughters live in a different state. My boys are my two oldest ones are out of high school and at working jobs. So it's a constantly me. I just feel like I'm constantly putting protection on
Yes.
everybody that means something to me.
Hmm. Do you have a particular tool that you use when you do your protection magic?
Um, I really don't. I think a lot of mine is just I do a lot of visualization. I have worked, and it's actually helped a lot. And I know Ren kind of has talked about this too, that I'm an empath, and so I get a lot of stuff. But I just think of having a bubble around me, and I have a bubble around my house, and I have a bubble around my kids and my husband and stuff like that. So I kind of that whole entire visualization of
Yeah.
everything. But I think also for me myself, it's like if I don't have certain things, if I'm not wearing certain jewelry, um, and things like that. I do feel like that kind of helps me. That's always like my bracelets, and I have crystal bracelets and things like that that I wear daily and everything like that. So that
Okay.
would probably be my the only like the most magical tool that I have.
I like tarot cards. I like divination.
Hmm.
So I would say that my tools, I use tarot cards all the time. I'll be sitting down here at work and I'm like, I feel the need to pull a tarot card and I'll ask a question, what do I need to get through this crisis that I'm in the middle? And I'll pull a
Hmm.
card and I'm like, okay, now I know I can calm down and deal with it. So I would say tarot is my favorite
So
tool.
yeah, that's yeah. I'm not yeah. I have a few decks that like me. I have one that does not like me at all. I
That's
know,
so funny.
I know,
Ren
because
is
I know
that
Ren makes
way.
fun. Yeah, I
Her
know.
hers do not like her. I think that is so funny.
But I
That
have a few
is
that do, so it's
okay.
good. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
That's so funny. Do you work with any deities? I think that you had told me Medusa was a thing.
Medusa and Bridget. I first found Bridget.
Oh yeah.
Um, One of the things was when years ago, 4 years ago, over a little over 4 years ago, when I kind of got into this, I picked up a book called The Path of the Christian Witch. And I was reading through that, and um it was just talking like the woman that wrote the book, it was a Catholic and everything, or is a Catholic. I'm not sure exactly where her standing is now. But it reminded me a lot of my childhood. My grandmother was Catholic, who my grandmother was my everything. So she was really into the saints and stuff like that. And so I've always researched saints and all those different things. So I saw Bridget and I really started going into that with Imbolc one year. And I'm like,
Yes.
it just felt so connected to her. And maybe it's because she is a saint also, but like it was
Mm-hmm.
just like just felt like she was, the one that really connected with me. Like it made me feel like that's the kind of person I am. I am more of a homebody kind of, always kind of thinking about my home and my hearth and things like that,
Yes.
protections around that. And I felt like she was the perfect one for me. Um, so I love having her, and especially when it comes to, after the new year, when an inbox comes closer, it just feels like she's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now Medusa kept coming to me, and it was crazy. So like she was in my dream. I was literally scrolling through Facebook one day and somebody had written, something they had talked about like something with, an alternate story to her actually, the story was told about her. And I just started going down a deep dive and I really it really helped me. Um I was going through a lot with my ex-husband and I felt like I felt like she was the one fighting. She's right there fighting with me, and I think that helped out a lot. And
That
and it's
is,
still, yeah, it
yeah,
is
that's
beautiful.
powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was when I needed it the most. Like she was really the one that the things didn't turn out the way I hoped they would have turned out, but I think it turned out better because I think I was able to stand up for myself better than I
Yes.
usually have before, and that's what she is good for.
Yeah.
Very good.
Lilith is that way for me. And
Mm-hmm.
I've talked many times that I am not a religious person. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really do the deity thing, but Lilith kept appearing to me and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
what the heck is this? And so I did a deep dive like you into her and I was like, okay, she is right there with my don't tell me what to do. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
very strong, independent person. And so she made her way into my life. And I don't work with her often, but she will show up when I need her,
Mm-hmm.
which is amazing. And I don't ask for her to do that. She just shows up.
And that's the way it is with me. Like I feel bad. Sometimes I'm slacking with, really showing up for them. And it's just like, yeah, but I'm like, I know they're there for me, when I need it the most. It's like that
Yeah.
friend that you always have that if you had to call them, they'd be like, okay, I'm coming,
Yep. I'm
and
here.
that's,
Yep.
yep. And
Yep.
that's the way I feel about it.
So I guess since you do mostly protection magic, do you use ingredients and actual spell work? Is there a weird ingredient you've used?
Um, I have used, I was there for a while, was doing some banishing spells, more to protection of keeping somebody away from me.
Okay.
And I used my own pee. That is the weirdest thing I've done.
That I have
And
heard that that's
I
very
know.
powerful. Yeah.
And I was like, because this person would not leave me alone, kept kind of harassing me to the point of, I'm just going to, kind of like going to the authorities.
Oh,
But I
wow.
really couldn't because if I did, it was going to cause more drama.
Yep. Yep.
So I was just finally, I'm like, I've had it, I'm done. And yeah, I just did a spell. I just looked some stuff up about banishing. And, one of the things they say, oh, use like rusty nails, you can use your MP. And I'm like, you know what? This is the easiest thing for me to do.
Yep.
And that's what I did. It took a couple times. I did that spell a couple times to finally, I think it finally went through and worked. But again, I think I was kind of scared too when you're worried, it's like, okay, is this really going to work? But I
Yeah.
think,
Yeah.
I kind of got a little more, positive about it. The more times that I did it, I really was like, okay, yeah, this is going to work this time. It's going to work.
Absolutely. That's
And
half
I
the
think
battle.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah, that is how.
Yeah, I mean, the whole P thing, it's like marking your boundaries, marking your territory.
Mhm.
It's the same that animals do. It's,
Right, exactly.
keeping things out of our space. I think that's very clever. I've never tried that actually. So
Yeah,
I
I
might
mean, because I
might
know
have to
that you
do that.
guys have talked about banishing and stuff like that, cursing, and I've read a lot on it, but mine is my binding, banishing or binding is more just getting somebody to stay out of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yes,
not
self-protection.
asking, right? Self-protection. It's not
Yep.
harm.
Yep.
I don't think I've ever put anything out there to harm, if I remember correctly. I might have before I actually started identifying as a witch, but
Hmm.
now I'm a little more careful that I don't do that. But yeah, it's more like I just want somebody away, just get
Yeah.
away
Yeah.
from me and everything. So.
Interesting. That is very cool. So do you have a familiar?
I don't think I have a familiar, but I will say crows are very much. um in my life.
Like a
I
spirit animal, maybe,
like
as
a spirit
opposed
animal
to,
more, yeah. Um, I see them constantly. I do live in a area that has farmland and stuff, so I think that does kind of help. But they are like they're for some reason I see them on the way to work a lot of times. So I always notice them. I'll be at the stoplight before I turn on the road that my school's at, and I'll see them. And I always try to take note how many I see and what is this going to mean something. So I've been doing
hmm
that. Um, I don't really think I have a familiar. I do have a dog who is like my baby, and she's
yes.
with me around me because she's usually stuck right beside me 24/7 if I'm home. So she's usually around me if I'm doing spells. She's not on exact if she helps me, but she's usually right there anyway. Because she's, yes, she is a big baby who thinks, she's a 60-pound boxer pit bull mix that thinks she is
Oh,
a 12-pound
Chihuahua.
chihuahua.
Yeah. I
So
love
yes.
that.
And so
If
yeah, she's funny though, because she's my husband, she's our baby. That's what I always call her. She's our baby.
Where do you practice magic at home? Like I've got a deck. I always go out on
Mm.
our deck outside. Where do you practice?
I actually have in this house, because we just moved a couple of years ago, and this house has been kind of neat. We have a front parlor, and I've kind of made it like my witchy room. My husband knows it's my
Nice.
witchy room. I mean, I have pictures hung up, things like that. It's also my writing room, being that I am do write and things like that. And I'll work, and it's kind of like my office to a point too. I'll go in there and work on, grades and papers, stuff like that. But yeah, and every once in a while, I did do a little bit this year though. We did get a nice little set of snow back in January, and I did a few things, and I actually have snow water because I took the,
Nice.
yes, so I have it labeled, and so yeah, I have like a almost like an apothecary table sitting down there that has all these different things on it and everything. So that's where I do most of mine. But I do a lot of just sometimes it's just wherever I'm at. Like I'm very
Yeah.
much to that point now where I'm just like, if I need to stop, and I've done it and stop and just kind of say, okay, I need protection. I'm feeling something. Let me just say something. Let me just cast this out there. I do think that I, just do it anywhere now. And I think that's the one great thing about when you keep growing that you don't have to do it. So, I mean, I'm not a ritual
Absolutely.
person. I'm,
Yeah.
like you said, I don't go by don't go by a set of rules. I do
hmm
the way I want to do it. And so, I mean, I'm in my car a lot. I do a lot in my car to tell you the
Yeah.
truth. Yeah. So
I
it's
think that is super important. And like you said, the older we get in our craft, the more we realize we don't. I think maybe in the beginning it's comforting to have those little, okay, you're
mhm.
supposed to do it here. But like you said, once you know what you're doing, you can do it anywhere. And I think that's great. I just like to be outside. I just like to be outside. I go out on our deck all the time. I spend a lot of times out there. But I wanted to ask you back on the familiar thing. I guess if the crows or your dog could talk, what's the first thing they would sass you about?
I think my dog would probably just look at me and ask me, "What the hell are you doing?" Because she just looks at me sometimes, or she's like, "Okay, we could be snuggled up on the couch or in the bed right now, and not be standing here with whatever looking at you, what are you doing?" Um, I really do think, I think the crows really, I do think maybe they are my spirit animals because I feel like I
hmm
see them so much when things happen in life and things like that. But yeah, but my dog, yeah, she would just be looking at me going, you could be getting me a dog bone right now. You could be doing a lot better things than sitting
Mom,
here.
you're doing this nonsense. Let's go get a
Yeah,
treat.
yeah, exactly. That, or let's go snuggle on the couch, or because she wants to sit in my lap. It could be, yeah, especially if it's storming outside. She's on my lap.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, she would rather be, because I love when I've gotten to the point now when it storms, I love to go stand by my front door and kind of watch it and stuff. And I never liked doing that when I was younger. And she just gets so mad at me.
Oh, that's so funny. I used to get in trouble when I was a kid because I would go running outside in it. And my grandparents would be watching me and
Mhm,
I knew which set of grandparents I could get away with stuff and which set of
mhm.
grandparents I couldn't. And the one that I could, I would go running out in the rain and the thunder and the lightning, and they're like, "You're gonna get struck by lightning." And um, I love storms. I absolutely love
I
storms.
I've grown to love them. Like I used to be so scared, but growing up, I was just so scared of them. I was scared of so much growing up. And now that I'm
hmm
older, I really have. And Yeah, I've learned to like they're supposed to tonight here, I'm in Southern Maryland, so tonight we're supposed to get cold front come through and we're supposed to get some bad storms like after 8 o'clock. So I was
Oh,
telling my husband, I was like, oh, it's supposed to storm tonight. He's like, okay. I'm like, oh, that sounds like fun. Because it's just like, again, it's just like, and it's just like right now, leaves are changing and I love it when it's raining and
yes.
windy and all the leaves are blowing everywhere. It's just so beautiful to me and it just feels so I don't know natural. I'm not much of an outdoorsy person, but I just love that interaction,
Is
and I just feel like it's crazy. The nature is just so crazy.
is fall
So
or spring a favorite for you, or summer or
uh,
winter? What's your favorite?
fall is definitely my favorite. I am not a summer girl.
Yeah,
I think
mm-mm.
I think I have the opposite of, they have that seasonal depression that's sad. I think I have the opposite because I think I get it during the summer and not during the winter.
Hmm.
Which is crazy because I'm off to school, not in school,
Yeah,
during the
that should
summer.
be your
And
happy
but
time.
that's usually my rest time. That is really when I have to rest and get ready for the next school year. So like, most
Yeah.
people are like, oh, I kind of, in the wintertime, I'm kind of in my, house and everything like that. For me, it's the summer. But I think part of it is just, you spend 9 months, 9, 10 months with, high schoolers,
Yeah.
ninth
Yeah.
graders, mostly. That, the summertime, I just need to, kind of go into like a cave. And that's the way I
Yeah.
feel like I do. So I think that's but I've never been a summer baby. I've always been a fall, winter. I love the cold. My husband
Me
and I have
too.
talked about when we retire, moving up north to New
Yep.
England.
Yep. Which is
Um,
backwards of what we're supposed to do when we're
Everybody else
old.
I know and I mean, luckily, like this summer, I got to visit Georgia. My mother-in-law lives in Georgia, and I fell in love with Savannah. But I'm like, if it wasn't so hot,
Yes.
I would be there. I would like, we could move here, but I'm like, it's too hot.
Yeah, we went there for vacation. One of my daughters loves the heat, and I do not like the heat. So we try to alternate every other year between the mountains where I like it, where it's nice and
Hmm.
cool, and the beach where she loves it. And we went to Savannah this year, and it was so hot. Even she agreed next year for sure we're going to the mountains. I don't like that hot weather
Well,
either.
that's the thing with like my sister. My sister lives in Florida,
Ugh,
and yeah, oh, she it's so hilarious. I live in the area that I was born and raised in, so she moved down to Florida. Gosh, it's probably been about 16 years now. And she came up here a few years ago in October, and she's like, it was like 70 degrees out. We're sitting outside at a restaurant. It was beautiful, nice little breeze. I had
hmm.
jeans and a t-shirt on. She's sitting there with a hoodie on, like shivering. I'm like, what is wrong with you? She goes, if it gets below 75, I'm like, how did you survive when you were younger? I'm like, I don't remember you being like this. I'm like, you're a Maryland girl. You're not a Florida girl. I said, I guess you are now. But yeah, she cannot stand it. It gets below 75 and she's like, it's cold.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
like,
my oldest, and she's dramatic about it. She's no longer in the home either, but we try to meet up for
mhm.
vacations, and so we'll go somewhere and we'll have the heat set maybe, I mean, 68, 67. I like it
Hmm.
cold in
Oh
the
yeah,
house. And
mine's 66. Yeah.
she's all wrapped up in her blankets and her hoodies with the hood up, and I'm like, "You are just so dramatic, girl."
Her and my sister would get along perfect because that's the way she is.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. What do you have a grimoire?
I do. I also have, I kind of call it my grimoire. I have been doing book shadows, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
I started that early when I really started going, really got into it about 4 years ago. I keep what I call a witch's journal that I usually
Nice.
start at Samhain. So I get to start a new journal in
The new
Samhain
year. Yep.
in the new year. And that's usually just stuff that's happened to me throughout the year. Kind of witchy wise, because yes, I'm too am a lover of journals. I think I have told you guys that before. Yes, I was so
Yes.
happy. I think I have two of the journals that you guys have sold before.
Yes.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, I have grimoires and everything like that. I've had probably so many, but I do try to um I was trying to be good about, kind of keeping it organized, but that's just not me. Like
Yeah.
my best
Same.
thing is just
Yeah.
have a yearly one and just start a new one at the year, and I always say, okay, I'm going to start at Samhain. I started that like 2 years ago, when that really got into, and people were saying, oh, what Samhain's the witch's new year. And I'm like, oh, I could start a new journal.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I never had a well, I've had lots of journals and I do
Mm,
journal, but I've never had a specific grimoire book of shadows until this year. And my handwriting's terrible. I do have a teeny tiny bit of artistic ability, but not that much. And so what I've started doing is I bought a like uh, blank pages, not even lines on them, and
mm,
it's a hardback book. And I use my computer to do pages, so I can design it. I don't have to have any skill, artistic ability to do that.
mm,
And I print it onto the full page label stickers,
mm.
and I cut out what I've done and I put it in there, and I am loving it. Absolutely loving it. This is the first time I've ever done it, and I actually put in the very beginning for my future great grandchildren that might find this one day.
Right.
It's very cool. It's very cool.
Hopefully one day yeah, hopefully I'll get into being a little more organized with it.
Yeah, I'm not
Maybe when I
organized either.
retire.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know that I'll ever be able to retire. But in your grimoire, what is the most ridiculous thing you have in there?
Um, I think one of the most ridiculous things, I think if anybody would looked into it and kind of looked at it and was like, why, is a list of dates.
Oh, how funny.
I just look because I am into numerology and I have just
Yes.
been I go through and I've got, I have really it has been crazy how much I've done with it. Like once I find out somebody's birth date, it's like, oh, I got to see what life path number they are. I
Hmm.
look at the life, like the number numerology of different dates in history. I've done um, death dates, people when people die. There's not much to do with that, but I'm like, still feel like there's something with that. And I just have done that. Like so I have like these list of dates, and I mean,
That,
it's like stuff that's happened in my own life. It's stuff that's happened in other people's. Like I have my, when I found out that my oldest son got the sonogram, I had the date of the sonogram when we found out he was a boy.
okay.
Like those kind of dates,
Yes.
just to see what, kind of things like that. So yeah, so it's just to be a list of dates. People are like, what in the hell? Why does she have all these dates written down and no context with them? But it's just, I remember a date, I write it down and be like, okay, da 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 da, and then I can go back and look at it later on, and I know what it means
Yeah.
because I can remember dates, like weird dates. But I can't remember when Civil War ended, but I can remember
Right.
dates in my
Right.
life and everything. But yes, I just love it. Just
Well,
absolutely love it.
I think it's so cool that you count the crows because I feel
Mhm.
like with numerology, that is
Oh,
something
everything.
you could put that into your grimoire as I saw 10 crows today and the meaning of
Mm-hmm.
10 is this and I feel this about 10 and that's
It's
fascinating.
numbers. Yeah, numbers are everything. I mean, I know that I'm a math teacher, and so people think, oh, well, that's true. But like numbers have always been, ever since I was little. I used to, when they say, oh, when you go, what the not the power of three. I'm thinking of Charmed. I watch
I
too
love
much Charmed.
Charmed.
I
Love
know, I do
Charmed.
too. But like the rule of three and everything.
Yeah.
But three is a number for me. Like that is my life path number, and things come to me like that in threes, and I always have in my life. So I think that I kind of get that information and kind of see, okay, if I'm seeing that, something the time something happens. Like this morning, I've already had my nail break off that I just put on last night. I've had the charm fall off my bracelet, so I'm like waiting for that third thing.
Yep. What's the third thing?
What thing is
Yep.
going to happen to me today that's going to make me get a little cranky about, but not like piss me off royally, but it'll just make me just a little bit cranky.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
yeah, so I mean, and that's what I just yeah. So it's just a number thing. I'm just out.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not smart, so numbers are not my thing. I wish I failed algebra, and actually now algebra, because I had to take it over again. Algebra is now my favorite math because I understand it because I took it twice. But it's it's not. I like to look into the meaning of words. I like to notice the synchronicities of numbers that come in, but I am not smart when it comes to numbers at all. Okay. What is your funniest or most chaotic spell mishap?
I'm not sure if I even have one that's really. I think sometimes I've had a few that have worked really well, and it kind of surprised me. Think just having ones that are like I didn't think that was gonna kind of happen. Um, but I feel like I said I used to be a big I used to wish on everything.
Oh,
and
interesting.
like falling stars and things like that. And I just
Hmm.
remember being in college, and my senior year in college, I was doing my student teaching in the spring semester, and I went to college in the mountains, so we got a lot of snow and stuff. And I just
Oh,
remember one night there was supposed to be a big storm coming through. I'm like, I just wish we didn't have school for like 3 weeks, and we ended up not having school for 3 weeks. And I feel like I'm like, yeah, that says something. That scares the crap out of me. That I mean, I just wish so hard. I just remember wishing,
yep.
going, I just want to. And we had just started this semester,
Yeah.
but I was already feeling overwhelmed, doing student teaching and everything. That I was just like, yeah, like I just wish we didn't have school for 3 weeks. And I just kept wishing it, like saying it like over and over in my head that night. And yeah, I ended up not having school
I
because
love
the
that.
school system was closed for 3 weeks.
That's
The
crazy.
college, they had to go to, my friends on the campus had to go to school, but me, I didn't because I couldn't go because the county schools
Yeah.
we were working in weren't open. So I was like, oh, okay, yeah,
Vacation.
vacation. After I just came off my month long winter break, I came back for 3 weeks, 3 more weeks off. So
That might go with the same. The next question I was going to ask was, is there a spell that you cast that worked too well? That might count for that one
that might
too.
count for that. But I do have one that is actually very funny. I have a friend at school, and I am pretty well out at with the teachers at school. They know, what that I'm into witchcraft and stuff. And I do teach algebra one, and we have an algebra team, and it's a team of 3 or 4 teachers. And this was one of my first big spells I actually did and actually tried on somebody else. And I did a honey spell on one of the teachers that I worked with because she just kept interrupting me and she was just being mean and everything else. And so I was like, I didn't want to do anything to be mean to her, but I'm like, oh, I can do a honey jar spell.
Yeah, make her sweet.
Right, make her sweet. And it actually worked. And I told her about it, and she's like, oh my God, it actually did work because I didn't tell her about it until like till the end of the year. And so she still tells people that. She's like, she turned me around. Like she made me a lot nicer. I was like, well, I said I was tired of feeling like, I'd be going into our meetings and stuff and I'd be like, oh, she's gonna yell at me or she's gonna be like cutting me off when I'm trying to talk. And yeah, and I just did a honey spell and that's probably the best spell I've ever done in my life, I feel like.
That's
And
amazing.
she teases people. She tells people, she's like, yeah, I wouldn't mess with her. You never know what she's gonna do. And I'm like,
Did you do it as a jar spell? What did you
I
do?
did
That's
I
my
did a little
favorite.
jar. Yeah, I love jars too. That's me too. And I put, I did like the honey and different things and really kind of talked over it and kind of just had it for a little while and just had it sitting somewhere. And I would look at it every day and go over and just hold it and keep in my head, just keep
Yep.
saying, I just want her to be sweet. I want her to be sweet to me. And it worked. And she even agrees that it worked. Like that's
That's
the crazy thing
hilarious. I
because I
love
didn't
it.
tell her until months and months later.
Yeah.
And she was like, oh my God, you're right. I was being nicer to you after that. I was like, yeah.
It
I said,
didn't
because,
make her scared of you
and
though,
no, it
did
didn't
it?
make her
That's
scared of me. She thought it was amazing. And she thought, because
mm-hmm.
I said, I didn't want to do anything to hurt you. I just wanted you to be nicer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think she understands it. I do have a good support system at my school with some of the teachers that I'm close to. They understand it. They know I don't want to curse people. They know
Right.
I just want to live my life and kind of just want people to be happy. And I mean, a lot of them come to me and, talk to me about things and want me to kind of say protection over them and things like that. So I think that's, it's a good thing. I guess if I could be called any witch, it probably would be a protection witch because I feel like I do that for so many people.
I
And
love that.
yeah, I mean,
That's
but that's just
amazing.
me. Yeah. But yeah,
I love
the
that.
honey jar spell is, I mean, we were just talking about it on Friday.
That's so funny.
She's like, you better not mess with her. She's like, she put a spell on me and it worked. Like,
That's
she's
so
like,
funny.
I
It's
feel,
so scary though, because a lot of people don't understand that we are not what you see on TV. We're not what we grew up with as the evil
right,
witch.
right.
And so it is scary to let yourself be known as a witch. It is because you
It's
don't
very
know,
scary, right?
yeah,
And I
how
mean,
people
and
are going to
I'm out
react.
here and there. I'm out, I'm not really out to my students, but I think a lot of them think that there's something different about me.
Hmm.
Um, I'm, most of my close people, most of my close coworkers and stuff that, they know. My best friend, who is, I call her my very best friend. She became my best friend in college. She's very Christian, but she's very what I call a good Christian because like she
Yeah.
accepts me for who I am. And
Hmm.
we've talked about stuff because she loves essential oils. And we've
Hmm.
talked about essential oils and how important. And she agrees wholeheartedly how essential oils can change your life and stuff. And I said, there's science behind that. I said, but there's also
Absolutely.
magic and everything. And she, I'm glad I have that system. I do have that. I'm kind of like you. I don't have many friends that are witches,
Hmm.
I think, and it's one of the reasons why I listen to so many different podcasts, about witches, because I'm like, I've always been, kind of by myself.
Yeah.
But the good thing is, I do have people that, like I said, come to me, or, like my husband goes somewhere. He went on a trip last year, and your travel mouse, I gave him like a little fairy, a little jade fairy,
Oh,
and made him take it with him. And he's like, okay. And he's like, he was like, he just accepts it, puts it in a
he's like,
suitcase, and moves.
it's
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah.
Jessica. Okay.
And all my boys and my husband, they all have my boys. They're all teenagers. They all drive now. My oldest one has crystals in his car. Right after he got his driver's license, I gave those to him. And then my middle son has a little stuffed animal dog that he keeps in his
Oh.
car.
Hmm.
And then my youngest is my one that really he actually just got baptized and confirmed and stuff in the church in the last few years. But he's got this cross with an angel on it because I've always loved angels.
Yep.
And I bought it for him, and I kind of blessed it my own way, kind of
Absolutely.
thing. So they all have those in their cars, and they might, think of their mom as a witch or want to think of their mom as a witch, but I still, but I think a lot of it, like I said, a lot of that was always the way I was, you
Well, and I
know.
think religion is also witchcraft, which I know
Oh
there are
yeah,
certain
Catholicism.
religions
Oh
people
my
that
gosh,
don't think so,
yes,
but
yeah.
it's prayer, it is manifestation, and I mean, religion is witchcraft. It's just
Um,
a
I
word, a title.
I heard somebody said that one day. I was listening to one of the podcasts, and they said that we could say a spell is a prayer,
Hmm.
is a wish, and I'm like,
Hmm.
yeah, and I'm like, I've always been that way, and I'm like, yeah. So like
Yep.
when people have said that to me, they're like, well, when I say, oh, I'm sending prayers, and they're like, what do you mean? I thought you don't pray. I'm like, no, but I can still pray to who you believe in. I could
Right.
still send my good
Right.
vibes and energy to you. I'm like, I'm still doing it in my own way. I said, but I'm still doing it for you.
Yeah, I
So,
used to say sending good vibes, and it just wasn't received right. And so
hmm
now, like you, I say sending prayers because that is basically to me, it's magic. I'm sending my
right.
magical essence and
hmm
my energy to heal or whatever it is that you need your way.
And
So,
I definitely feel that way. And I think that people, they just have to realize there's different words. I mean, English language is crazy.
right.
I mean, to me, they all mean the same thing. They're
I mean,
just,
science is magic, except for it's magic we figured out.
yeah, yep.
Yeah. I mean, it
Yep.
used to be that the things that we know now as science would have been, quote,
Oh,
magic.
yeah.
And now we're like, oh, and this is
Oh,
why it works, and this is how it works. So yeah, I mean, I really do think someday they're going to figure out why your honey spell worked. I mean, I think they're going
hmm
to figure out there is a science behind what we're doing
oh,
now.
yes.
It's just that some of us are able to tap into it more easily. Maybe it's because of our beliefs, maybe it's because of our open-mindedness.
Fitness.
I don't know. Well, what is one witchy misconception that ticks you off?
I think the biggest thing is that we're evil.
Yeah,
Just
for
the whole
sure.
entire, yeah, I think that we're just evil, we're bad, we work with the devil, we work with demons, things like that. I'm like, no,
Hmm.
I'm like, I used to love that show on Hallmark, Good Witch, because I was like, she was
Me
always being like,
too. I
she
love
was
that.
always, and I love that show because I'm like, yeah, because that's the way I feel like I am.
Yeah,
I'm just trying to
same.
help people out and just trying to live my life and
I think a lot of
everything like that.
witches are her. A lot
hmm
of witches
hmm
are that way. We are not evil. We're not trying to hex people. There are witches
Yeah,
out
there
there
are
that
witches
want
that
to
will,
hex
and
people,
right.
but we're not. I mean, and one thing that really upsets me is the pentagram or the pentacle being viewed as a, because I've got a pentagram necklace, or I guess a pentacle is, I always remember it because pentacle is a circle around it.
Right.
Pentagram is just the
Just the
star.
star, yeah.
And I've got a necklace that's a pentacle, and I've got to be careful where I wear it. I live in Georgia in the South,
Right.
but to me, it's a protection thing. It is a
hmm
protective symbol, and people are like, "Oh, it's the devil," and
Oh, yeah,
so
but
that,
right.
yeah,
And I tell people, as much as I like to research, there's actually churches, Christian churches in Europe that have that
yes,
because it
and it
used to be a
started in the
protection.
church.
Yes.
Yes, yes,
And I tell people that. I tell people that all the time. And just like I wear a lot of the I forgot, but it's the Holy Trinity, the Celtic Holy Trinity, the one that like the charm, they wear
yes,
that because I deal with, my ancestry is a lot of Celtic, Scottish, and Irish. So
Oh,
I've
nice.
been wearing that a lot more. And the cool thing about that is like, yeah, it has a double meaning. It means in the Christian church, it's the Holy Trinity.
Hmm.
But then, in pagan roots, it has a totally different, yeah, it has a different meaning. But I'm like, I can wear that and people don't look at you as differently. And I think, but I
Yeah.
wear a ring every day that they can't even, I don't have it on right now, but it has the pentacle on it. Just a ring that has a pentacle on it. And you have to kind of, it's very small, but it's just like, it's there. But I've never had anybody say anything. I mean, but I feel the same way around where I live. It's a
Yeah.
very red area,
Yep.
I guess the best
Same.
way of saying it.
Yep.
Um, and yeah, I feel like sometimes, yeah, I just have to be careful, even just like going out to the stores and stuff. Like yesterday, I had on a Triple Moon shirt that I had got from Salem. We went to Salem years ago, and I was like, okay, where am I going? Okay, I'm going to Hobby Lobby, but I don't care. And then I'm like, because
Oh, yeah.
I love doing that. And then I said, I'm going to Walmart. I'm okay. I'll be okay. I'm like, nobody, nobody's going to say
Yeah.
anything. I said,
Yeah.
so I was just like, but sometimes I do, think about that kind of stuff. So yeah, I wish
Yeah.
it was definitely something people need to just stop thinking that we're just bad people that just want to hurt people and everything else, because there's a lot worse people out in the world than most of the witches that I
Oh, for
know and
sure.
probably
I think the
hurt folks.
witches I know are the best people out there. They are better than a lot of other people, a lot of so-called
Mm-hmm.
Christians that I don't think really
Mm-hmm.
are Christian. But what pet peeves do you have, if any, when it comes to magic?
I think it's just mostly that, just the whole idea of what people think.
Yeah.
I would
Mi-
love to be more out than what I am now. Like I would love to be
Same.
able to just, you know, put something up on my door and not have to worry about anybody saying anything, or, those kind of things, instead of hiding some of the things that I do. I
Yeah.
do have a witchy sticker on my car. So it says witchy woman. And so, but I had that on my car for over a year now, and I haven't had anybody say anything. So I don't know if people just don't realize it as much, or,
I want to paint
maybe,
my door purple.
oh, I would love, well, I live in a
I
rental right
know.
now.
My
I told my
husband's like,
husband, no,
no.
I'm painting mine purple. My husband doesn't have a say in that one. God love him. He'd be like, okay, what color purple do you want? Do you want light purple? Do you want
I
dark purple?
love
Like
it.
that. He'll go with me to the Home Depot or Lowe's and be like, okay, which purple? Let's see if
You
this one, okay, this
guys,
one.
I have to tell you about her husband. So, was it last year for Christmas or the year before? It might have
Year
been the year
before.
before.
It was 2023, because that's when I was kind of going through a lot of stuff, and that's when the new stuff was in
He
my life.
he is so amazing. He
Mm-hmm.
searched Ren and I out, I guess because of what you were going through, found our email, emailed us and said, "Okay, this is what I want to do. Can you help us do it?" And we did, and he ordered stuff off our merch shop and we wrote her a poem, and he is just the best man. And I think he did a photo shoot for you with your
Right,
witchy.
and that was Halloween that year. We did a photo shoot because Halloween he was home. He works retail, so there's a lot of times where we don't. And I think it was like the day before Halloween, and he had bought me a crystal ball, and I had my
Oh,
cloak, and I had my hat that I actually have I call it my authentic hat because it's from Salem.
oh
We went to Salem
wow.
for our first anniversary. We went to Salem 4 years ago, and so yeah, he did it, and he loves photography. So I've always told him, so he loves to do that. So we went outside at our old house, and yeah, he just took photos of me, and yeah, and he, then he kind of doctored some of them, made some of them black, white, made some of them where you could like the color of the crystal ball just came out. Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what, that he's got that creativity and everything with photography and stuff. And yeah, he's amazing.
He's a
Definitely
keeper
amazing.
for
Oh,
sure.
he is,
He's
yes,
definitely a keeper.
he is definitely one.
Okay, let's see. So, what do you do to keep your practice from becoming stale? Because I do have this trouble. I get bogged down in my everyday life, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm a witch. I'm supposed to be doing stuff. What do you do to keep that from happening?
I think one of the biggest things I've kind of told myself is that I don't need to do everything every day.
Hmm.
And I love to learn new things. If I could be a college student for the rest of my life, I probably would have been. So I just keep learning new things. Like I've gotten down a rabbit hole about the Book of Enoch. Um, because of another podcast I was listening to, they were talking about that, and I was like, and my husband was like, "What are you?" I'm like, "No, you don't understand." And he's like, "Okay," and I think that kind of helps me because it kind of gets me back into, okay, I need to get back into parts of it. Um, but I think a big part of me is just that I live with having lupus and fibromyalgia, and I know I have good days and bad days when it comes to my energy and my
Yeah.
brain and everything like that, that I just give myself grace with it. And yeah, so I just, I do things when I can do things. And like I said, like summertime is a very slow time for me. Like now it builds up for me and it'll build up and it'll stay this way until probably until about Beltane. And then I'll kind of go into my like hibernation of my witchcraft more during the summer. But
Hmm.
yeah, I just every day I just try to, if I, like I said, mostly mine is just wearing my protective jewelry and saying my, just
See,
going,
and
okay, it's going to be a good days.
that's
And
something you do every day is you put on
hmm
that jewelry. So that is an
hmm
active, on purpose, intentful, is that, I don't know if that's a word,
yeah,
and
yeah.
intentful thing to do. I think that's smart. What I've started doing is at night before I go to bed, I do a little meditation that puts me back in touch with my energy because
hmm
I don't know if it was February. Of course, that was when I fell and I was still
hmm
having my brain. It's been a year,
Oh,
but
I know.
that,
I've been there through all that. A lot of good
that,
vibes sending your way. I just sent a lot of good
yeah,
vibes.
thank you so much. But I lost I lost my energy. I got so overwhelmed by everything that was
Mhm,
going on. And so now I try at nighttime. That's my one time. My husband's a night owl. I can't stay up that late. I get up
mhm.
earlier. And so when he's up at night, I'll go and listen to this meditation and try to feel the energy around me to reconnect every day. So that's my way of trying to keep myself from going stale right now. Okay. Oh, this is a fun one. If your practice was a cocktail, what would it be?
I don't know. I did ask my husband this question because I was like, "What do you think?" And I was like thinking, like, I would, if I had, if anything, it would always have like cinnamon in it because cinnamon is like one of my favorite things to work with.
Hmm.
Cinnamon stick. I mean, I have cinnamon sticks around my house everywhere. Like, it's
I
just,
love
yeah,
cinnamon.
I do too. And so, like, I constantly, but he thinks I should be a mule, some kind of mule, because he likes
Yeah.
because I like the gold little coppery cups, but
Yep.
or an
Yep.
Irish coffee because I'm such a big coffee drinker.
Oh, yeah.
And he's gotten me into whiskey. Like, I was never a whiskey girl
I
or
am
anything
not
like
a
that,
whiskey girl.
but we've gone to like, we do things that he likes to do also, and we've gone to like distilleries, and I've got to taste some
I
of them,
need
and
to do
I can
that.
give my honest opinion about it. Be like, oh, this one's smooth. Oh, this one's not so great. I'm like, I couldn't drink this one, and and when he drinks it straight, like he will just pour
My
some in a
husband,
glass.
too. I don't understand it.
Yeah,
He
so like,
loves whiskey.
yes, and my husband, they would get along great because yeah, my husband would sit there and just drink whiskey, be the happiest person in the world. But yeah, but I think me would definitely be something number one and have to be really sweet my
Hmm.
practice because again, I feel like that's what I do. It's a whole, I just try to keep everything happy
Sweet.
and
Sweet.
sweet.
Yeah, I like that. I love that. Let's see. If you can enchant an inanimate object, what would you choose to enchant and what would you enchant it to do or be?
I don't even know with this one. This one's kind of a hard one. Like I'm not sure. Like I would enchant something. I would love to enchant something
Your coffee
to
maker.
which yeah, that would be well, no, well, I have to talk. Yeah, sometimes, but I mean, luckily, it's easier nowadays than it used to be. Now you could just throw, like if I want
I
iced
know,
coffee,
right?
I could just pull it out of my refrigerator and pour iced coffee and just mix up some stuff with it because that's what I end up doing. I make my own
Yeah.
little concoctions. Um, oh, if I could enchant one thing, it'd be my car so it could drive itself.
Oh,
I hate to drive.
yes. Me too.
Luckily I love the my travel for the during the day where when I go to work. Like I do love that trip. But most of the time, if I always said that is if I ever win the lottery, you would know because I would get a driver. So I never have to drive again. Because
I love that.
I'm like, it's just I get stressed out too much sometimes. And then I'm just like, I'm one of those people that I can fall asleep behind the wheel if I'm tired, which is not a
Yeah.
good thing.
No.
So so yeah, I would probably enhance, I would get the car and just enhance it and
That's
just be like,
that's
that's
pretty
the perfect
brilliant.
thing. Yeah.
I was thinking my coffee maker to make me cocktails. So I don't know.
They have one of those they have one of those things that
I
can
I
make the
actually have
cocktails.
one. I
Oh,
actually
okay.
do. I, I have one. Yeah, Ren, she's so fun. She doesn't even drink much anymore because her health issues are out
Mhm.
the window too. So she doesn't even drink anymore. And I'm always like, let's go drinking. And she's like, River, I can't drink. Oh yeah, I'll drink for you. It's okay. Okay, what is your favorite element to work with?
I definitely would say water. but I am a
Really?
water sign. I'm a water sign.
Okay.
I'm a Pisces. I like to flush things away when I want to get rid of things more than like burn them or anything.
Yeah.
Um, I always feel like it's always funny. I think about Finding Nemo when I do that and be like, it's going to the ocean. Um, and granted that I live next to water, I do live next to the Chesapeake Bay, close to the Chesapeake
Yeah.
Bay and stuff. So I could be right there. And I have done that. I've gone places and I have thrown it into running water. That's more my thing than, or I'll freeze something. If I want to do something, I'll freeze it and put it in water and freeze it. And
Interesting.
so like that is more of my, and I think it's because I am a water sign, maybe.
Well,
But
it's
it's,
interesting because I'm an air sign, but fire is my element that
well,
I
you need
like.
air for fire. That's the
Well,
reason
that's
why.
true. You're right. That's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
What element would ghost you?
probably fire.
Yeah, mine would probably be water.
I don't think
Yeah.
it likes me. I've tried to do spells with like burning and fire, and it doesn't seem, they don't seem to work for me.
Oh, how funny.
It's yeah,
I
because
love
I've done
fire.
like the burn. I mean, I love to do those. I think it's so cool that when you can like write something down and then burn it,
Yeah.
but it's like it just doesn't. To me, it's better to flush it. So I'm thinking water is just.
Interesting. I love that. I think that's very cool.
I know, but I know how much you love fire and stuff, and I've tried it. I've tried the different things with the fire, and I love burning this stuff. Like I think it's kind of cool. I even have paper that is made. Oh, it's not made. It's not paper. It's like made for something else. I can't remember off the top of my head what it is, but I got it from an apothecary shop here. And yeah, it's like it's biodegrade, like really biodegradable. It's made out of something, but it's really cool. You can write spells on it and it burns easily or it dissolves easily or something like that. And it's like really cool. And I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever.
I love
But
that.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't, it's easy to, to get rid of instead of, kind of not using actual paper and it's better for
That
the
is so
environment and stuff. Yeah,
funny.
I'll have to
I
look at that, what
wonder
it is.
I wonder if that's what Ren's problem is because we did a TikTok way back in the day when
Yeah,
we were trying to burn the bay leaf and hers didn't burn.
that's what happens to me. Like, you can light cinnamon on fire. It doesn't do it for me. And for me to light a candle or yeah, to me to just to light a candle, matches, I break them before I get them to start burning. So like if I don't have a
That's funny.
lighter, and then lighter usually takes like 3 or 4 tries to get it to start, like to get it to have a flame. So I'm like, yeah, fire just doesn't like me, which I'm okay with that. But
That is so funny though. That is so
yeah,
funny. Okay, finish this sentence. A witch should never leave the house without blank.
I would definitely say like your enchanted jewelry or a crystal
Mm,
or something like that. That's
for
me. I will run out to the convenience store, like we'll go out to Wawa, and I still will throw on, even if I have nothing else on. If I don't have makeup on, I'll throw on my crystal
yeah,
bracelets or something like that. Just
yeah.
even if it's just that short time, just to go somewhere for protection
Hmm.
and everything.
That's smart, I think. And I already asked this one. We've already talked about your husband. Does your spouse support your craft? And he
Oh
does
yes,
100%. Yeah, I think that's
100%.
great. Mine does too. Yeah, he's just like, that's River, whatever.
Well, I went from having a non-supportive husband with everything and to having the most supportive husband ever.
I do
So
think he's great. You'll have to tell
yes,
him I said
yes.
so. Okay, so you celebrate the Sabbaths because you were talking about Imbolc.
Hmm.
What is your favorite of all of them?
I'm gonna have to say Samhain just because I love
Yeah,
the veil,
yeah.
spinning of the veil, and I've actually gotten better with Beltane, kind of thinking the same way.
Hmm.
Um, Samhain was the first one I celebrated. I did this when I first started 4 years ago. I have a what I call an ancestor tree, and I made from some of these they're fake branches and everything, and I put every Samhain I put people in my life that have passed away that year, so they get like a little ornament on it
Oh,
and you have like their
wow.
name on it. So it's like
Clever.
it's like a little ancestor altar kind of thing. Um, it's very it's very meaningful to me. That's usually like my little part that if I for Samhain, if I don't do anything else, that's what I usually do. Um, and then Mbok is of course with me with Bridget. It's always and to me it is that whole entire thing. Spring's coming back. That I usually like New Year's resolutions, people start January 1st. Mine usually starts at Mbok. Like I feel like that's the start of the new year.
For
of the
you.
regular New
Yeah.
Year. Yeah, because
Hmm.
January always feels like there's so much stuff happens.
Yeah.
I feel like January is always a hot mess.
Yeah.
In my life, it's always feel like it's been. But yeah, so like unboxing, I always light a green candle for her and kind of say a few things and kind of
Yeah.
cleanse. Usually make sure I cleanse around my areas in my house and stuff like that, just because, again, when life gets busy, it's you forget to do certain things and
Yeah.
that falls behind. And I feel like that's always the one time that I kind of do that with everything. So those are the
Yeah.
two major ones, I think,
I would
for
say
me.
Samhain is probably mine too. I do like Yule just because it brings in that whole Christmas feeling.
Hmm.
And I love that Christmas feeling, even though that's not my religion. I do think Yule and Christmas are kind of
Hmm.
part of the same thing. So
Right.
I like Yule a lot as well. But and then the Thanksgiving Maven is fun. We actually
I
celebrated it this year.
Right. I in the last 2 years, for Mabon, I actually made a family um recipe called Scottish goulash. So that's my on Mabon.
Ooh.
I always make that for the last 2 years. So that's been like my little tradition. So Mabon, it was on a Monday this past year. My husband's like, "What are you doing?" Like I was on the way home, and he's like, "What are you?" I said, "I gotta go to Harris Teeter." He's like, "Why?" I said, "I need to get stuff to make Scottish goulash." And he's like, "It's just you home tonight." I'm like, "Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We have leftovers for the rest of the week."
That's
You
right.
know.
Absolutely.
I said, "But it's Maven. I got to do it." And he's like, "Okay, I believe you. Okay." Yeah. And then again, just okay, do what you need
You
to
should
do.
post that recipe on Patreon for the
It's
rest of our
not what everybody
patrons.
thinks, though. I'm gonna have to go.
Really?
It's not because people think of goulash and they think of noodles and everything. It's actually a meat, bean, and gravy
Oh,
dish
that
that you
sounds
serve
lovely.
over your like egg noodles, or you can serve it over. We just used to eat it over white bread when I was growing up. And always white bread. You couldn't have the wheat bread. You had to have plain old white bread, and that's what we ate it over. And it's very kind of hearty feeling. I've known about it. We ate it growing up and everything, and it was so. People always think it's so weird because it kind of looks kind of grayish,
Hmm. Hmm.
but yeah, it's so good, and it's just to me it's home. To me, it's my comfort
It's that
food.
whole the thankful
Right.
feelings that
It's
you
it's
get at
right,
yeah,
exactly. So
yeah.
that's why it's like, yeah, I decided, last year I said I'm gonna do that for Maven. I'm gonna put that in as the tradition that I'm gonna start. So
I love
yeah, so I
that.
do that.
What do you think of Ouija or spirit boards?
Nope.
No,
That's a big
you
nope.
and Ren, well,
Oh,
although Ren on her first date with her
oh
now
yeah.
husband, I'm like, really? And now she's too scared to do anything. And I'm like, let's go do this. She's like, no, absolutely not. I'm like, oh
I
man.
remember I had an Uncle Chuck who's now passed away. He was my father after my father left. It was my father's brother, and my father had left when I was 11 years old. But so my Uncle Chuck was kind of like my pseudo father. And I remember him telling me a story when I was younger that you couldn't burn a Ouija board, and I didn't know what he was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Did not understand anything what he was. I didn't know what it was. And
Mm-hmm.
ever since then, I'm like, nope. I mean, I don't even like I see those, like they'll have like like a bag, a tote bag with the Ouija board on it. I'm like, nope. I'm like, nope, not gonna. And I'm just like scared of them. Like, but I'll mess with, tarot
Yeah.
cards and oracle cards and stuff like that. But I'm just like, nope. I guess my Uncle Chuck's like, nope, you're not. I'm not letting you do
Yeah.
this.
I mean, you
He's
do
like,
have
there's
to
no
be
way.
careful. I don't know if I said it on the podcast or not, but I was watching a movie recently and this girl, it was one of those Ouija board movies and she
Hmm.
pulls it out and, she just starts. I'm like, no, no, girl, you got to protect yourself. You got to cast things to make yourself safe. Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's fine as long as you protect yourself. I just wondered what Rin doesn't either. She's like, no. So,
Yeah, but have
mm,
you ever used one?
yes.
Oh, you have. Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
but it was when I was young enough that I don't know if the other person was pushing the,
Right.
around or if it was real or whatever. I don't know. Of course, back then I didn't know I was a witch and I didn't know
Yeah.
about protection, so that probably
Yeah.
wasn't a very smart
Exactly.
thing to do. Um, if Yelp could review your witchcraft, what would your Yelp review say?
I think something along the lines that I guess maybe that I'm caring and protection, but I'm a little scatterbrained. Because
Okay.
I have been known to tell people like, oh, well, da 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 da, and I'll be like, okay, I'll do that. I'll make sure and they'll be like, oh, did you put that, did you kind of help me out and put some protection? I was like, crap, I forgot to do it. And I mean, that's just my brain and life. It's just, it's just you talk about, when you had your brain injury. I'm like, I've had brain fog for years, having lupus and fibromyalgia.
Yep.
So it's like, yeah, you're just like, "Ooh, did I remember to do that? Did I remember like the first of the month? I'm lucky to remember it's the first of the month to blow cinnamon anywhere. So
Absolutely. That's what I feel like mine would say. She smells like cinnamon.
yeah,
I use
yeah, mine would be like,
cinnamon
oh, she's so
everywhere.
caring, but she doesn't remember crap, or she forgets what she's supposed to be doing. And squirrel, all of a sudden you'd be going running across, you'd be like, oh, look at that pretty squirrel, because that's my life and that's what I do.
I feel like we are going long, but I do
Okay.
want to ask you some of the this or that questions
Okay.
because I'm just so curious. So, new moon or full moon?
Um, New moon.
Interesting. I'm full moon for sure. Why new moon?
I To me, the new moon with new beginnings, and I think that's
Yeah,
with my life. I've always been at such a because even that's like even one of my mantras to my students that every day is a new day.
yeah.
And even though you could have made me mad yesterday and done something stupid in class, I'm gonna have probably forgotten it. I've forgiven, and we're moving on. So
Yeah,
I think a new moon to me is very. I mean, I love the moon,
I
and
love that.
all the phases. I really do love all the phases of the moon. But the new moon to me is just, yeah, it's a new beginning, and we're kind of it's almost like and I was born under a new moon, and I think that's part of it too.
Wow, that's so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. Again, I find all these like little things that are just weird together. So,
Synchronicities, man.
yep.
Candle magic or crystal magic?
Definitely crystal magic for me. Because again, fire doesn't like me very
I was
much.
going to say I'm candle, fire. Coven or solitary?
Solitary, I think
Yeah,
definitely. I would love to have
weird.
a coven, but it couldn't be very formal.
Yeah,
Just
I
have,
like that. I think all of my patrons, I feel like they're my coven.
hmm
I wish that there would be more interaction, but
right,
I feel like we could be a coven without having to be the restrictions of a real coven.
right. Not a ritual
So,
coven. We're more of a
yeah,
friendly neighborhood witches coven.
yes,
That's what we're going
absolutely.
to be.
Coffee or tea? I already know.
Yes, definitely coffee.
Coffee. I'm
Definitely
tea.
coffee.
I prefer tea. Ritual clothing or jeans and t-shirt. I already know this for you too.
Okay, jeans and
Jeans and
t-shirt.
t-shirt. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, same, same. I already know the next one too. More formal magic versus less formal magic.
definitely less formal magic.
Yeah. Oh, midnight or sunrise?
This was a hard one for me because
Yeah.
I used to be a morning person. I love them. I mean, I think I still kind of am. I think if I really had to do something, it would be sunrise. It would definitely be. I mean, I love the midnight time. I love the nighttime, but to me, because even when I was in college, and if I couldn't stay up late studying, or couldn't stay up late writing a paper, I would just go to
Yeah.
bed and
Do
wake
it
up
in the
early
morning.
and do it
Yeah.
in the morning, and
Same.
I was clearer and everything else. So yeah, so definitely probably sunrise.
I was until I hit my head. Now my
Yeah,
whole sleep schedule is just messed up. I don't know. I'm still healing. It's been over a year. Anyway, I'm still working on it. Would you fly on a broom or teleport?
definitely teleport.
Me too. Who wants
I'm
to sit
like,
on a
I
little
mean,
stick?
right. Well, I'm like, that sounds cool. Maybe to try it once or twice, but I don't know if I want to do it. If I could do something all the time, teleport, of course.
Right, absolutely. Cast spells naked or in pajamas?
I would say in pajamas because I love me some PJs. Like,
I would be naked.
I have a bad habit of going to the store and seeing cute pajamas, and I probably have more pajamas now than I do. I know I have more pajamas than jeans and leggings probably put together. Love my pajamas, just love them. So yeah,
That
it would
is
be
so
definitely pajamas.
fun. Wine or whiskey? I think now you might be whiskey.
I think I'm more rather have a wine as long as it's a sweet
Really?
wine. Yeah,
I
if
like
somebody
wine.
had, yeah, I mean, as long as it's sweet. I love my sweet. I love my sparkling. Unlike you, I love sparkling wine. Um, yeah, the whiskey has just been in the last few years, so I can't really. Wine's always been my choice, but I'm also a beer girl. I love me a good beer.
I like
So
beer too. It just gives me a hangover no matter how little I drink. It's
see,
the
more
hops or something.
mine is I can't have oaky wine because oaky wine gives
Mm,
me a horrendous headache even before I go to sleep.
hmm.
And then, yeah, with liquor is more of a hangover for me. Like I can drink a lot more beer and not be as hungover. But yeah, it's
Interesting.
just weird. Yeah. Again, we're all so different. And
We are. Crystals in your bra or herbs in your pockets?
I would say probably herbs in my Pockets. I don't put anything in my bra.
Same. Me too. I'm like,
I'm like,
all
I'm
these
always
witches that are
scared.
talking about this, I'm like, that would not be comfortable.
Now, I will say I will tell you a secret that I used to do. So when I first came, first realized and started identifying as a witch, I would, when I knew I was going to be around people that I didn't want them to know, namely my ex and things like that,
Hmm.
I would wear the little pentacle necklace and I would hook it to my bra strap and then tuck it down in my bra. But it was
Nice.
flat, so I didn't feel
Yeah.
it. Like, yeah. But
Yeah.
if I had to feel a freaking crystal, I don't know how they do that. I'm like, yeah, it would bother me and drive me
And plus,
nuts.
you look lumpy. Who wants
Yeah,
to
like,
look lumpy?
usually I have crystals in my pocket. I do use sometimes, especially at school. I will have a crystal in my pocket. It's almost like a worry stone, though. It's more like neat
Yeah,
as
I
a
I do
put my
love a
hand in my
good worry
pocket.
stone.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, but definitely herbs would be easier to deal with.
yeah.
Talking cat or enchanted broom?
Talking cats.
Really?
I grew up with cats and I love cats. And my youngest my ex-husband was allergic. My youngest is allergic. And I told my kids that I'm like, once all you guys are out and gone and grown and everything else, I'm like, I'm gonna have cats and you're all are not gonna like me. And I tell that to my husband all the time. I said, we have two dogs that live in the house. That our other dog is my oldest son's dog, but my our dog. I said when Harley goes, I said we probably will be getting a cat. My husband's like, okay. Like right now this weekend, the animal shelter down the street is having free. All the adoption levels are. I'm like, if I could get one, but I
Oh.
can't because I can only have two pets with my lease. Like if I could go get
Oh.
one, I said I probably would have cats.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
love them to
my
death.
husband is a cat person. I am the secondary human in this house. I don't want to have the cat talk because I know what it's going to say to me. I am not important in its life, in his life. I would probably do the enchanted broom.
That would be kind of cool though.
Yeah.
I'd do
Yeah.
the enchanted broom if it could, yeah, do all the cleaning for me, so I don't have to do any of that. That would definitely be a
Wouldn't
cat.
that be great?
I want
Oh,
Molly
yeah.
Weasley's house where she just,
I
you walk,
know.
everything happens. I'm like, that's what I want. I just
Yeah,
want.
that was what my husband, there was a question. We do this paired app where
Mhm.
it's for couples. If you and your
Yeah,
husband don't do it, it's fun to do,
yeah, I've
where
heard
it
of it though. Yeah.
asks questions. And
Hmm.
one of the questions was something about what fantasy family do you wish that you were like? And he picked the Weasleys. And I was like, I didn't even think of that. And he said, because Molly Weasley is just the most amazing woman
Hmm.
to do all the stuff that she did. Plus, she was a fighter and a protector of her children. How cool is that? I think that's
And my
fun.
husband wouldn't say that because he's never seen Harry Potter.
Oh no.
No, I
Oh,
know.
you've got to change
I
that.
know. I keep trying to. Right now it's football season, and yeah, he's a
Yeah,
big.
same. We're
Yes,
football.
we're big football. Yeah, he's especially college football for him, and and
Us
everything. But
too.
yeah,
Yeah, what teams are you all?
so I am, and I've married into it, so nobody come at me. I'm an Ohio State fan,
Okay.
but I do
Okay.
have a nephew. Our nephew is actually at Ohio State right now, and our niece graduated from there a couple years ago. My husband and I got married in Ohio. He's from Ohio,
Okay.
5 years ago, and our colors were actually scarlet and gray
Okay.
because we were right. He lived right outside of Columbus. His parents lived right outside of Columbus and everything. He grew up right outside of Columbus. So what we're Ohio State fans. People always laugh, oh, well, you just because they're good. And I'm like, no, I'm glad I have a team that's good
I've
because
always been, yeah. Yeah.
every other team I root for, I'm lucky to have a winning day because I'm a Commanders fan.
Me
Um,
too. I'm a
and
Commanders
oh, I did
fan.
not know that.
Yeah.
Yes,
Well,
I'm a
I grew up
Commanders
in
fan.
Virginia, so
So
and you're
yeah, so
Maryland,
yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Maryland, and then I'm also a and my have a cousin who's a big Ravens fan because most of my father's side of the family is from Baltimore, and so he's always loved Ravens. So I try to root for Ravens. I'm like, they're not doing too good this year,
Plus,
and then
but the Ravens in general are
oh yeah,
cool.
because
So
I'm a big Edgar
yes,
Allan Poe fan. I love me some Edgar. I've
yes,
been up there. I've been up to
yes.
his grave. I've been to his
Oh,
houses.
how
I've done
cool.
so many things. Yes, the Raven is so big. I'm actually I want my tattoo of I want to put Nevermore down the side of my forearm. And it was so
Oh,
funny because
yes.
I have a sign up in my classroom that says Nevermore, and it has like crows coming from it, or ravens coming from it. And one of my students said to me the other day, he's like, "What does Nevermore mean?" I was like, "Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
we're taking a
yeah."
day off of math and we're going
I'm
to talk
like,
Edgar Allan
I just
Poe.
looked at him and I went, Edgar Allan Poe? And he's like, who's that? I was like, okay, never mind. You're hurting me.
They
I said,
don't
you're hurting my
teach that
feelings. I'm
anymore?
like, and I don't know, but I'm like, we live in Maryland. I mean, everybody should know who Edgar Allan Poe is in
Yeah, for
Maryland.
sure.
I'm like, he's
Well,
like,
maybe ninth grade, maybe they'll learn
maybe,
that
I
in
don't
10th grade
know.
or something.
I have no idea. I didn't talk to the English teachers because they need to put something out there. But again, these kids
Yeah.
these days, they don't know, they start talking to me about stuff and I'm like, what are you talking about? And they're like, "No, no, no."
Do you hear
I'm
the six, seven?
I do it back at them and they think it's hilarious. I have this one kid that God love him and he's the sweetest kid and he did it to me one day because I was like, oh, turn the page. It's either 6 or 7 in your packet because we do
Oh,
note packets.
six,
And I didn't even
seven.
and he was like,
Yeah.
the way he did, but he didn't do it that he was like 6 or 7. Like he said, he goes, which one is it? And he did it so great. So like now we have a running joke. So like anything he says to me, I'm like, he was up moving around the other day. I'm like, go 6, 7 your butt back in your chair. And he just cracks up with it. Like it's the greatest thing. But yeah. Then we just had homecoming week this week and we had teachers dressing up. Um, there were some teachers, I think it was science teachers that dressed up and one would have a 6 on their shirt, the other one had a 7 on their shirt.
I love
So it was
it.
like, yeah. And so yeah, I mean, you gotta play into it. When you teach high school, sometimes you just have to play into it. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah, they try to get
it's fun.
reactions. So when you play back, that's
Yeah.
they
Oh
think you're
yeah.
the greatest thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like I had
Well,
teenage boys for a reason.
I have 4 girls, so I
Oh,
don't have any boys. No boys. Don't know how to handle boys. Mm.
I don't know what to say.
You
I
don't
like
know
to
what to
say,
say to that?
right, because I have 2 stepdaughters and I love them both dearly, but like my oldest one's 23 and the other one's 18. And I told my husband, like, there was a reason why God gave me boys. I said, because if I had to discipline a girl, I said they would hate me for the rest of their lives. I said
They
I'm a
do
lot easier
up
on my boys.
until a certain time. You know nothing. You are the stupidest thing in the
Mhm.
world from the age of about 14 to about 17. Once they hit 18, you become a human again. So there's hope.
Well, see, it was hope for me because my stepdaughters, they I was just their bonus mom. They didn't, I
Hmm.
wasn't telling them what to do. I did the fun things with them, so I was like, okay,
Yeah.
that was okay.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have because I mean I worry so much. I would
Yeah.
be,
For sure.
going out and be like, you're leaving the house. Okay, wait a minute, let's do this. Let's do like I would be
I
freaking
can't
putting spells on them
imagine
all the time.
my parents having to raise me before there were cell phones.
Oh my gosh,
And I
I
used to
yeah.
sneak out all the time. I
And see,
mean,
I was a good girl and everything, but it
mm,
was just like, but I just remember we had pagers in high school, and they were like, "Oh,
yeah.
you got a pager? Are you doing drugs?" I'm like, "No, but it's the only way my mother could find me because if not, I'd be at my boyfriend's house after school,
Yep.
and she'd be like, 'Where are you at?'" And
Yep.
and my mom was a single mom, so yeah, she
Yep.
had a pager
Yep.
to call her,
Yep.
But I said no, but I'm
Yep.
I'm very happy though that we grew up in a time when we didn't have cell phones
Yeah, me too.
because I did some stupid things.
Me
I'm
too.
glad I went through high school and college without cell phones, or
Oh,
at
I
least the kind of
love
cell
it.
phones we have now. I did have a cell phone my senior year in college, but that was just, just a phone. That's all it was. It was just a little
Hmm.
yellow Ikea phone that luckily I
Yeah.
got, car broke down. I was able to call somebody. That was the great thing. So,
Yes. Yeah, for
but
sure. Well, thank you so much for joining us. This is so fun. We should do this again, whether we
no.
record it or not. I think this is great.
Yes,
I love it.
this was so fun. Yes. Oh yeah, because I could get on anything. I could talk for about a lot of different things.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we'll have to come up with some topics to talk about. That would be fun.
That would be great. That would
That
be
would
so much
be.
fun.
So we'll do that. I am going to try to have another guest. My husband works with someone whose sister is a medium. And so I'm going to see if I can get her on the show to talk about, what exactly is a medium and what do you do? And I don't know anything about mediums.
Right. I
So
mean, I know a little bit, but yeah, but that's amazing too because they just amaze me.
yeah, that's fascinating.
They
Fascinating.
are.
And
So
what a weird ability to have, like you as a kid. I mean, how do you how do you
I
deal with
have all
that?
right. I still kind of have something. I do think I've actually starting to deep dive into this. I have like that what they call like the clear knowing. Like I know things and before things happen, or I'm now been doing a little bit of shadow work with my life and stuff. And I was like I've been like memories that were suppressed are coming back to me. And I'm like, I've had this for a long time and just never
Hmm.
again, I just thought it was a weird coincidence that I knew things.
Yeah. There's
So yeah, oh
more
yeah,
to it.
I
There's
can get a
more
whole, I
to
can go
it.
down that whole entire rabbit hole too. I've had prolific dreams and stuff like that. But now it's nice because I actually know, okay, this actually means something, and
Yeah.
I'm not, just
You're not
weird.
crazy. It's
You're
not,
not
yeah,
crazy. Yeah.
yeah, for sure. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. Tell your husband we appreciate him. He's awesome, and I'm so glad he supports you. It's the best.
So glad I got to be on here. This is the coolest, and kind of
Okay,
made like a little bucket thing off, check off my bucket list of doing things. So
for sure. Well, we'll be back. And until then, stay witchy.